Liminal Space. It's a phenomenon that has gained popularity in recent years, fueled by a wave of nostalgia and a growing fascination with places that feel familiar yet distant. In an age where people yearn for the comfort of the past, liminal spaces tap into those shared memories of fleeting moments and transient places. You've likely stumbled across it before, even if you didn't know its name. Images of vacant malls drenched in pale fluorescent light, endless hallways with no clear end, a room bathed in a strangely familiar glow, triggering a memory you can't quite place. Liminal spaces are the in-between, the almost but not quite there. They're both somewhere and nowhere, at the crossroads of comfort and unease. This video is your guide to all things liminal space. We'll explore its origins, its most famous manifestations, and its cultural impact. From the eerie allure of the Backrooms to the nostalgic haze of Dreamcore and Weirdcore, we'll peel back the layers of this fascinating phenomenon. Whether you're here to analyze its psychological underpinnings or simply bask in its strange beauty, this journey will take you to the edge of familiarity and beyond. Welcome to your guide to liminal space. At its core, a liminal space is a threshold, a transient zone. The term originates from the Latin word limen, meaning a boundary or threshold. It's a place that exists beyond two states, physical, emotional, or even existential. These spaces evoke a peculiar sensation because they are neither here nor there. They might feel like a waiting room for reality itself. Think of places like empty school hallways late at night, the parking lot of a closed shopping center, or an airport terminal in the early hours. These spaces are functional, designed for transition, but when stripped of their normal activity, they become uncanny. They feel frozen in time, disconnected from purpose, yet imbued with an almost spiritual stillness. This sensation or dislocation is central to the liminal experience. But liminal spaces aren't just physical. They can also represent emotional or psychological states, like the uneasy feeling of being in a transitional phase of life. Moving to a new city, waiting for a major event, or even navigating the period between childhood and adulthood. These are all examples of liminality in a broader sense. These experiences amplify the sensation of being caught between worlds, adding layers of depth to the concept. Liminality can also be deeply personal. What feels liminal to one person might not resonate the same with another. For instance, a diner at 3 a.m. might feel like a haven to a night owl, but a haunting void to someone facing insomnia. This subjectivity adds to the richness of the concept, making liminal spaces a mirror for our individual experiences and emotions. Culturally, liminal spaces are reflective of the modern human condition. In an increasingly globalized and digital world, where we often exist between time zones, roles, and identities, the liminal has become a metaphor for our fragmented lives. These spaces remind us of the transient nature of existence, the fleeting moments that define our reality but often go unnoticed. The Backrooms. The Backrooms are perhaps the most famous manifestation of liminal space in modern internet culture. They originate as a single image posted to an anonymous forum. A yellow carpeted room with no windows and fluorescent lights humming softly overhead. The image was accompanied by the chilling caption, "If you're not careful and you no-clip out of reality in the wrong areas, you'll end up in the backrooms, where it's nothing but the stink of old, moist carpet, the madness of mono yellow, and the endless background noise of fluorescent lights at maximum hum buzz." and approximately 600 million square miles of randomly segmented empty rooms to be trapped in. From that one post, a sprawling mythology was born. The Backrooms are now an entire universe, with countless levels, entities, and escape attempts documented by fans worldwide. It's a collaborative effort, much like an open-sourced horror story. Each level brings new rules and new terrors, creating an ever-expanding tapestry of eerie, liminal worlds. These levels have inspired countless creators, from writers and artists to game developers and filmmakers, who use these backrooms as a canvas for exploring the boundaries of fear and imagination. What makes the backrooms so compelling is their blend of familiar and the alien. The yellow walls and humming lights evoke a mundane office or hotel hallway, but their endless repetition turns them into a surreal nightmare. This combination taps into a primal fear of being lost, both physically and mentally, amplifying the unsettling qualities of liminal spaces. The Backrooms Wiki. The Backrooms Wiki is the central hub for this collaborative storytelling. It catalogs the various levels, which range from benign and nostalgic to outright terrifying. For example, Level 0, the starting point for most wanderers, is the iconic yellow room, endlessly looping. Level 188, in contrast, resembles an infinite hotel corridor, with doors that may or may not lead anywhere. The Wiki is a testament to the human need to make sense of the unknown, turning a simple, unsettling image into an elaborate universe. Beyond levels, the Wiki delves into the creatures and entities that inhabit the Backrooms. From the enigmatic smilers to the elusive facelings, these additions add depth to the mythos, blending horror with mystery. The Backrooms Wiki has become a cultural artifact in its own right, showcasing how collective storytelling can transform a simple idea into an intricate world. Kane Pixels Backrooms. While the Backrooms started as a series of still images and text, Kane Pixels elevated it to a cinematic art. His YouTube series, crafted with stunning CGI, brings the Backrooms to life in a way that's both visually captivating and deeply unsettling. His interpretation leans heavily into themes of corporate experimentation and existential dread, exploring the Backrooms as an accidental byproduct of human hubris. Kane's work has set a new standard for how liminal horror can be told visually, blending nostalgia with an impressive sense of isolation. Kane Pixels' videos also emphasize atmosphere, using sound design and pacing to create a sense of dread that lingers long after the video ends. His interpretation has inspired a new wave of creators to explore the Backrooms in their own unique ways, solidifying its place as a cornerstone of modern liminal horror. Interpretations of the Backrooms. The beauty of the Backrooms lies in their ambiguity. For some, they're a metaphor for modern disconnection, a representation of corporate spaces drained of meaning. For others, they're pure nightmare fuel, the perfect embodiment of inescapable dread. This duality is what makes the Backrooms so compelling. They're both deeply personal and universally eerie, a blank canvas onto which we project our fears and fascinations. Some interpretations view the Backrooms as a commentary on urbanization and the homogenization of spaces. The endless repeating rooms reflect the monotonous design of modern architecture, while the sense of entrapment mirrors the existential dread of living in a hyperconnected world. Others see it as a more abstract exploration of the human psyche, a representation of being lost in one's own mind. Dreamcore. Dreamcore is an aesthetic movement that intersects heavily with the concepts of liminal space. It taps into the surreal, dreamlike qualities of liminality. Its imagery often includes vivid yet nonsensical scenarios: a floating bed in a pastel sky, a staircase leading to nowhere, or a field of flowers illuminated by an unnatural glow. Dreamcore evokes the logic of dreams, both enchanting and unsettling. Dreamcore's appeal lies in its ability to evoke a sense of wonder and curiosity. The visuals are often comforting yet strange, creating a blend of nostalgia and fantasy. It's an aesthetic that invites viewers to get lost in its worlds, offering a temporary escape from reality, while simultaneously reminding them of its fragility. The use of soft colors and whimsical elements add a layer of innocence, making Dreamcore feel like a return to childhood wonder, albeit with a slightly eerie edge. This aesthetic also draws heavily on personal interpretation. For some, Dreamcore offers solace, a dreamlike refuge from the harshness of reality. For others, its surreal qualities spark introspection, raising questions about the nature of memory, perception, and reality itself. Dreamcore captures the fleeting, often illogical nature of dreams, making it a unique lens through which to explore liminality. Weirdcore. Weirdcore, on the other hand, takes a more disorienting approach. It often involves disoriented or glitched visuals, cryptic text, and low-resolution imagery. Weirdcore thrives on unease, creating a sense that something is fundamentally wrong with the world that it depicts. The aesthetic frequently uses childhood memories and outdated technology to evoke a sense of alienation, as if one has stumbled into a corrupted version of reality. The power of Weirdcore lies in its ability to evoke deeply personal and often uncomfortable emotions. It draws on the uncanny, the surreal, creating a sense of nostalgia that's warped and unsettling. This aesthetic is a visual representation of the fragmented memories and feelings that linger on the edges of consciousness, making it both haunting and fascinating. Weirdcore's fragmented, dreamlike quality serves as a reflection of the digital age. It mirrors the way we consume and process information. The aesthetic's unsettling nature challenges viewers to confront their discomfort with the unfamiliar and find meaning in the chaotic. Nostalgicore. Nostalgicore is an aesthetic that taps into an emotional power of memory. Liminal spaces often trigger feelings of nostalgia, even if we can't pinpoint why. They remind us of childhood, of places we visited but forgotten, of moments suspended in time. Nostalgicore amplifies this effect, using warm tones and familiar imagery to evoke a bittersweet longing for the past. Nostalgicore often incorporates elements of pop culture, old advertisements, and vintage technology to create a sense of time travel. It's an aesthetic that celebrates the beauty and imperfection, highlighting the cracks and wear that come with the passage of time. By doing so, it offers a comforting reminder that even fleeting moments have value. This aesthetic is deeply personal, tapping into the individual's own memories and associations. It bridges the gap between the past and the present, creating a shared yet deeply unique experience for each viewer. Nostalgicore resonates because it's not just about the visuals, it's about the emotions and stories those visuals evoke, inviting us to pause and reflect on the past, to honor the ephemeral moments that shaped our lives. Surrealism and liminal art. Surrealism thrives on the juxtaposition of the familiar and the alien, and liminal art embodies this same tension. Where traditional surrealist work often depict dreamlike impossibilities, melting clocks, floating figures, and bizarre juxtapositions, liminal art tends to evoke a subtler disquiet. It isolates everyday scenes, stripping them of context and purpose, and in doing so, it transforms the mundane into the mysterious. Photographers like Gregory Crewdson excel in this realm, crafting cinematic stills that are meticulously staged to capture the unease of suburban life. His work evokes questions about what happened just before the image was taken, and what might unfold next. Similarly, Atada Haido's haunting, rain-soaked photographs of houses at night draw attention to the eerie beauty of the overlooked and in-between. The digital age has given rise to countless artists exploring liminality in new ways. With tools like CGI and virtual reality, creators are constructing immersive liminal worlds where viewers can walk through endless hallways, navigate abandoned shopping malls, or explore surreal dreamscapes. These virtual spaces blur the line between reality and imagination, creating new frontiers for liminal art. Surrealism and liminal art also share a philosophical underpinning. Both challenge our understanding of reality and invite us to question our place within it. They explore the boundaries of perception and memory, offering a lens through which to comfort our fears, desires, and uncertainties. The uncanny valley. The uncanny valley describes the unsettling sensation that arises when something is almost but not quite human. While the term originally applied to robotics and animation, its implications stretch farther beyond, intersecting deeply with the concept of liminal spaces. Both operate on the edges of familiarity, creating discomfort by distorting what we expect to be normal. Traditionally, the uncanny valley is evoked by lifelike humanoid robots or hyper-realistic CGI characters that seem eerily off. But this phenomenon isn't limited to faces or forms. It extends to environments as well. Imagine a suburban playground where the swings creak in the wind, or a dollhouse where every detail is perfectly replicated but devoid of life. These settings mimic reality yet distort it just enough to provoke unease. They feel familiar but wrong, walking the line between comforting and alien. Liminal spaces amplify this effect. An empty shopping mall, for instance, may feel uncanny because it was built for human activity, yet stands eerily deserted. This dissonance, a place designed for connection, now filled with absence, elicits a deep sense of wrongfulness. The uncanny lies not only in what is present, but in what is absent, making us hyper-aware of the gap between expectation and reality. The uncanny valley also taps into our evolutionary instincts. Humans are wired to recognize patterns and anomalies, especially in faces and spaces. When something deviates just slightly, whether it's a humanoid face with unnatural movements or a room that feels too still, it triggers a primal unease. This psychological response ties directly to the emotional impact of liminal spaces, as both engage with our innate sensitivity to what feels off. In exploring liminal spaces, the uncanny valley becomes a lens for understanding why these places resonate so deeply. They distort the familiar, forcing us to confront a version of reality that feels almost real, but unsettlingly distant. This subtle tension between what we know and what we feel cements their place in our psyche, making them haunting, fascinating, and unforgettable. Liminal spaces are more than just a visual aesthetic or a passing internet trend. They are reflections of our innermost fears, hopes, and memories. They remind us of the transient nature of life, the moments of transition that define our existence but are often overlooked. From the eerie corridors of the Backrooms to the surreal dreamscapes of Weirdcore and Dreamcore, liminal space invites us to explore the edges of reality and the depths of our imagination. In a world that often feels increasingly fragmented, liminal spaces offer a paradoxical comfort. They are places where we can lose ourselves, and in doing so, perhaps find something new. Whether they evoke nostalgia, unease, or wonder, they challenge us to see the world and ourselves in a different light. And maybe that is why they resonate so deeply. They are both nowhere and everywhere, a reminder that the in-between can be just as significant as the destination. May your exploration of these spaces continue. And as always, thank you for watching.